There is no difference between left and right, religious or secular, Jew and non-Jew. The line in the quicksand that October 7th made very clear for any of us who are paying attention is that this is between radical extremism and those of us that happen to like the civilization in which we live. There is no politicization of anti-Semitism that enables us to combat it properly. And I think that what Michael raised is actually very important in this institution, because anti-Semitism was able to mutate over thousands of years by latching on to the guiding social construct of the time: religion, science, and the secular religion of our time, my own area of expertise, my faith in human rights. And it is human rights that were appropriated and weaponized in order to enable this mutation of anti-Semitism that has become mainstream, as we heard, on every single campus. It is that and all of those terms that have been appropriated in order to enable, under the progressive, and it is not progress, it's regress, because October 7th showed us that that is not progress. So anybody who is supporting or not unequivocally condemning October 7th is doing so because, as we have heard, universities have relinquished their mission statement of teaching people how to think for a very, very scary reality in which they teach people what to think. That is the call of our time. And I want to be very clear in this building, because we meet at a time of never again, and what I believe is a moment of reckoning for all of our spaces, the international institutions, the university spaces, the social media, and our streets have all intersected. October 7th, the world cannot ignore October 7th. And maybe what I would like to close with is the understanding that in order to be able to unpack what October 7th identified and the masks that it removed, it has to be very clear in this building. The State of Israel does not exist because the Holocaust occurred. It's precisely the opposite. The Holocaust could not have occurred had the State of Israel existed. And October 7th has shown us exactly that. And anybody that continues peddling the lie that the State of Israel exists because the Holocaust occurred, when in fact, 75 years ago, an indigenous people, prototypical indigenous people that speaks the same language, Hebrew, and reads the same book, the Bible, and traverses the same land, and practices the same cultural rituals, that indigenous people was stripped of the right of indigeneity in this building. The fact that that indigenous people returned to our ancestral homeland after thousands of years of exile and persecution, enabled by the fact that we were stateless for thousands of years, the fact that that lie is peddled here in any capacity, as if the State of Israel exists as a white colonialist project, European colonialists sending Jews to their ancestral homeland, severing the tie between Jews and that ancestral homeland, including in institutions of this building, like UNESCO, recognizing Jericho as a Palestinian heritage site. What we see is systematic, ladies and gentlemen, and it has appropriated this institution, all of its mechanisms, and the values of human rights that we were all committed, mandated, entrusted to uphold, promote, and protect equally and consistently. The double standards in this building have collapsed the entire infrastructure, because whenever people say to me, I'm not a lawyer, I don't understand why double standards is such a problem. I say, you know, if I say to a 3-year-old, we're going to play a game and you're going to play according to the rules, but I'm going to cheat, the 3-year-old will say, I'm not playing. And that is what has happened right here with the double standards applied to Israel. Systematically and consistently, it's more or less the only consistent systematic thing that we can say. And so I turn back to you. I turn back to you with that very important plea to the adults in the room. This is the time to lean in and sound our voices and take back the foundational principles that this building was founded on. Because the never again for this building means that if at this moment we don't realize that never again is right now, the UN will cease to exist as we know it. That is the truth. We can ignore it, we can deny it, we can hope for another year or two. But that is the truth. And that's where university campuses, social media platforms, and these international institutions, they were all exposed on October 7th. That has changed the world as we know it. And I want to repeat one last time. The State of Israel does not exist because the Holocaust occurred. Rather, the Holocaust could not have occurred had the State of Israel existed. That is our call to action, and we will fight for our lives. We will not wait to be saved this time around. Not in Israel, and not in all of us committed to be the boots on the ground, because we believe in not only the right, but the imperative for that State of Israel to exist, as October 7th made very clear to all of us, anybody paying attention. So thank you, and we look forward to your action with moral clarity and courage. Never again is right now.